Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you at the moment? I know a lot of people ask that, but I do actually really mean it. You know, how are you doing? If you want to message me or find me on social media at any point to just let me know how you're doing, please do, because I think it's really important that we keep talking to each other and reaching out for support and help if we need it. In today's video, I wanted to make a video for Mental Health Awareness Week, which runs from the 18th to the 24th of May. It runs every year, and you will see, I will link down below that I have done various videos in the past years all around various aspects of mental health. Usually the focus is on something quite serious, and yeah, like very focused on specific aspects of mental health. But the Mental Health Foundation, who are the organisation that kind of run Mental Health Awareness Week, have actually changed their focus for this year. So they had everything planned about what they were going to do, and then the pandemic came along and they decided that they wanted to focus on something different. So the focus for this Mental Health Awareness Week is going to be kindness. And I wanted to just read you a bit from their website, which talks about why they think it's so important that we focus on kindness. So the bit that I'm about to read to you is straight from their website. I will link it below in case you want to read it in person, but I think it just communicates why kindness is so important at any point in time, but especially at the moment. So it says, why did we pick kindness as a theme? Last week, I waited in a socially distanced queue outside the supermarket as the rain started to fall. One of the staff noticed we were getting wet. He scurried away to find a pile of umbrellas, carefully disinfected the handles and passed them out with a smile. To my surprise, my eyes started to well up. At a time when I felt alone, I suddenly felt connected. If I asked you the last time you gave or experienced kindness, you would tell me stories of when you felt moved, protected, held, seen, loved. We think this could be the most important week we've hosted, not least because our own research shows that protecting our mental health is going to be central to us coping with and recovering from the coronavirus pandemic, with the psychological and social impacts likely to outlast the physical symptoms of the virus. So why kindness? We have chosen kindness because of its singular ability to unlock our shared humanity. Kindness strengthens relationships, develops community, and deepens solidarity. It is the cornerstone of our individual and collective mental health. Wisdom from every culture across history recognises that kindness is something that all human beings need to experience and practice to be fully alive. But we also want to shine a light on the ways that kindness is already flowering at this time. We have seen it in the dancing eyes of 100-year-old Captain Tom Moore as he walked his garden to raise money for the NHS, and in the mutual aid groups responding to local needs. We want that kindness to spread further in every community in the UK. Finally, we want to use the week to explore the sort of society we would like to emerge from the coronavirus pandemic. So I think that kind of sums up pretty well how important kindness is, and I think if you ask anybody, you know, to remember a kind experience, you already see their face light up and you can tell how much that kindness meant to them. And especially at the moment when things are really hard and when we have kind of lost a lot of that social contact, it's amazing how much kindness can just lift your mood, can make you feel connected to other people and can keep you going. I have always been told that even in like really bad times, there will always be helpers, and I think that's really important to remember. Certainly at the moment, things can seem really dark and it can feel like there is nothing good in the world, but if you look closely and you look around you, There are so many kind people looking to help each other and going out of their way to make life a little bit better for each other. There's people getting shopping for others, there's people phoning people to make sure that they're okay, there's people disinfecting stuff to make sure that, you know, people are kept safe, and all those little things. It's important to focus on them as well as the big, you know, scary stuff, because those are those little things that will keep you feeling hope, that will keep you feeling like humanity is still there and that goodness is still there. So I think today I felt like it was really important to just focus on that kindness and not talk necessarily about in-depth specifics of mental health, but to just talk in a more broader sense about what we can all be doing to be kind to each other. Because as well as making somebody else feel good, when you kind of partake in an act of kindness, it makes you feel good as well. It makes you feel like you've done something nice for somebody else, and hopefully boosts your self-esteem as well. So I thought today I would go through just some ideas of things you can do to sort of be randomly kind to other people. I've split it into 3 different sections to kind of make it a little bit easier to follow. And yeah, these things aren't huge things necessarily. You don't have to necessarily go and spend money. You don't have to give huge amounts of time. It can be really, really little things. So I've tried to include a variety of stuff. A lot of this stuff comes from the Mental Health Foundation. Some of it's my ideas of stuff that I've seen, and various other things that I've kind of come across. So I thought I'd just communicate them and get a conversation going about kindness, and hopefully just to remind people that there are a lot of kind people out there, and you know, if we're just kind to each other, that is a massive step in helping each other's mental health. Now I do just want to say that obviously mental health problems aren't as simple as just being kind to one another. You know, sometimes you need a lot more than that. You need medication, you need treatment, you need professional help. But for today I am just concentrating on kindness because it's something we can all do. And if you want to see any more kind of in-depth videos about mental health and things like that, I will include them in the description below, because I've done quite a few over the years. So if you want to kind of look at that kind of thing, you can go and watch those. But yeah, I've got quite a few different ways that you can be kind to others, and hopefully there'll be something there that might kind of inspire you to do a little random act of kindness. So the first category is called Keep Connected. I got these categories from the Mental Health Foundation. I will link down below so you can kind of check them out and see what other things that they've got on there. But yeah, this is all about keeping connected. So the first thing you can do is to call or text a friend that you haven't spoken to in quite a while. And I think this is a really lovely thing to do. It's something that I do try and do, but sometimes time just goes on and you forget. And I know for me it's lovely to get a text out of the blue from somebody who you may not have heard of for a while, or even if you have heard from somebody for a while, it's nice to just get a text out of the blue. So yeah, if there's someone that you've been kind of thinking, oh, I must contact them, give them a call, send them a text, because honestly I think it will brighten their day and let them know that somebody out there is thinking of them. Something else that you can do is to tell somebody how much you love or appreciate them. And I think it's really important for us to do this, and I know I'm not very good at doing it. You kind of end up taking people for granted without really realising it. And then when you do tell them that you love them or you appreciate something that they do, or just appreciate them, I think it's a really nice thing for somebody to hear. I know that if it's been said to me before, it just makes you feel like worthwhile. And mental health can make you feel pretty worthless, and I've definitely been in that position. And for somebody to just say to you, do you know what, I really appreciate having you in my life, it can sometimes be enough for you to kind of think, oh, okay, maybe I'm not quite so worthless, like somebody does appreciate me, somebody does want me. So yeah, if you've got people around you that you don't often say this kind of stuff to, just say it to them. Just say, you know, I really appreciate being around you at the moment, or, you know, I love you. It's not always the easiest thing to say, so if it's easier to write it in a letter or to send them a little note or something, then that's fine. But just making sure that they know how much they mean to you. Another way to keep connected and to express kindness is to invite somebody for a virtual cuppa. Obviously at the moment we can't invite people round for a cup of tea or to go and meet someone for a cup of tea, but we can do the next best thing, which is having a cuppa over a video call. And I think this is a really lovely thing to do, because sometimes you just want somebody to think about you and to say, would you like to have a cup of tea with me and a chat? And I know how much I really appreciate it if someone has like thought about you and thought, actually I'd like to spend some time with that person. So yeah, I need to be doing this more as well, because it's very easy to wait for somebody else to do it. And I think that's what this kindness thing is all about, is kind of making the first move and everyone kind of giving it a go. So if there's somebody that you're not able to see at the moment but you really miss them, send them a little message and just say, do you fancy meeting up for a virtual cuppa sometime, just for a chat? Because that chat, I've found at the moment anyway, that virtual chat has really helped my mental health, because you're not getting to see those people in person and you're missing out on all that social contact. So, you know, just a half-hour chat with a cuppa over Zoom can really lift your mood and be the highlight of your day. Similarly, you could arrange to watch a film with a friend, and there's various ways that you can do this. There's the Netflix party program now that you can watch things together, or you could both just video call and watch the same film. I really love going to the cinema with friends, and obviously that's something we can't be doing at the moment, but why not try and do that virtually, have that time and that contact with somebody. And yeah, it's not the same, but it's pretty good still. So yeah, see if you've got a friend that fancies watching a film with you. And I think it would just, to me, it would really make my day if somebody said, you know, do you fancy watching a film together sometime? And it's all about just doing those little things that are gonna help boost other people's mental health, but also your mental health. Something else that you can do as a little random act of kindness is to send a text or a card to somebody that you know is struggling. A lot of people are finding this very hard at the moment. I mean, I think everyone is finding it hard in different ways, but if you know that there's somebody that is really finding it difficult, send them a little message or send them a little card in the post, because it's so nice for somebody to have thought of you enough to kind of make that move and do that. And I know how much I feel great when I get a letter or a card in the post, because you pick that up off the floor and open it and you think, wow, someone's thought of me enough to write me a little card to tell me that they're thinking of me. And especially at the moment, I just think that is so important. So yeah, drop someone a card in the post, or send them a text or an email or whatever it is that you want to do, just to let them know that you're thinking of them and that you're there if you need them, if they need you. Something else that you could do at the moment is to arrange a virtual birthday party for someone. I can imagine that trying to celebrate your birthday at the moment feels pretty rubbish, and you know, you can't plan to go out, you can't plan to do anything nice with anybody, and especially if you're on your own, that just must be even worse. So if you know somebody's got a birthday coming up, why don't you ask them, you know, have they got anything to do to celebrate? Or would they like to do a virtual party? We've done quite a few in our household because we've had quite a few birthdays like in the extended family, and it's been really fun. Like, we've all got a cake for like all the different people that are celebrating, and then we've got on Zoom and we've sung happy birthday, and we've had a cake and we've had a drink and a chat, and you can organise a quiz or some games or something. And I just think it's a really lovely way to show somebody that you're thinking of them on their birthday and that you still kind of care, and just because of the lockdown it doesn't mean that they, you know, won't get to celebrate. So yeah, it's a really good fun thing to do, but it's also just expressing kindness to somebody as well. Another thing you can do is to send somebody a cute or a funny picture. I love stuff like this because sometimes you kind of can't find the words, or you don't really know what to say. But sending them, I don't know, a cute picture of a kitten, or if you've got kids, like a cute picture of your kids, can just be enough to make somebody smile and to brighten their day. And I just think it's a fun thing to send. So yeah, if you find a cute picture, send it to somebody and yeah, brighten their day. And then the last thing for this section is to share articles where people are expressing kindness in some way. There's so much going around at the moment with negative news, and it's constantly being shared on Facebook, and it gets really overwhelming. So why not share some different kinds of articles, some positive articles, some articles that are about, you know, the helpers that are helping people and people that are doing nice things, because it's just nice to have that kind of negativity broken up a bit, and for other people to kind of, you know, see something that's a little bit different. And, you know, it doesn't take very long. If you find an article that you like, just quickly share it on your Facebook, and then that random act of kindness will have made so many other people happy, which just shows that it doesn't have to be anything huge. It's, yeah, tiny little acts that can change people's lives. So the next section is all around home and things that you can do at home to express kindness. This one is obviously going to depend on who you're living with, whether you're on your own or whether you have got people around you. A lot of these are going to be based on people around you. So if you haven't got people around you at the moment, you may just want to kind of skip over this bit. But the first thing that you could do is to make someone that you live with a cup of tea. Nothing huge, but sometimes it's just nice for somebody else to make you a cup of tea. Or doesn't have to be tea, could be coffee, could be a stronger drink, whatever that person likes. You know, it's just nice that someone's kind of thought, I'm going to make them a drink, and gone and done it and given it to them. And I know I always like it, you know, when you go around someone's house and they make you a cup of tea and you're like, oh, that's nice, I didn't have to make my own cup of tea. So yeah, if you've got a tea drinker or whatever else, a drinker, just make them a nice drink, and I think it's just something that will kind of make them feel a bit special. If you haven't got other people in your house, or even if you have, something else you can do is to spend some quality time with a pet. This doesn't necessarily have to just be for humans. We all have lots of pets, and we don't always spend, you know, enough time with them when life is busy. So now is the perfect time to just spend some time with them, whether that's grooming them, whether that's just sitting and giving them a proper cuddle. And it will make them feel good, but also it will rub off on you and make you feel good as well. So yeah, you know, it's not a random act of kindness for another human, but I think we should just be extending it to everybody at the moment. If you don't have a pet, you could foster a pet at the moment. I know a lot of shelters are asking people to foster animals because of the coronavirus. They can't have so many people in their shelters, so they need other people to help. So if you have kind of got the time and the energy to be able to look after a pet, ask around local shelters and see if they need help with looking after someone, because it will be kindness for them, but also it will be great for you. I know having pets for me is a massive thing that makes my mental health feel better. So yeah, I would recommend a pet any day, but just make sure that you have got the time and the resources to be able to do it before you start inquiring. Something else nice that you can do while you're at home is to show your appreciation for workers that are still having to come to your house. So whether that is delivery drivers, postmen, refuse collectors, it would be really good to just be able to share how appreciative you are of them, whether that is by giving them a smile and a wave when they come round, whether it is with a simple thank you, or whether if you've got children, or even if you haven't, perhaps doing a nice picture and sticking it on your bin or on your front door that just, you know, expresses your gratitude for what they're doing at the moment. Because I've seen posts locally from refuse collectors and delivery drivers and stuff who have seen stuff like this, and it has honestly made their day. So yeah, I would recommend doing it, because they're out there, key workers, putting their lives on the line basically in other ways to try and keep the world going. So to see that we appreciate them, I think would mean an awful lot. And then another thing you could do for them, which I've seen some people do, is to have a basket outside your front door with some bottles of drink and some snacks, and then just put a little note to say that they can help themselves. Again, I've seen people doing this, and I know that it's really appreciated. For example, today it's really hot, and I think people, you know, delivery drivers or postmen would really appreciate a fresh bottle of water. So obviously it depends whether you've got the resources to be able to do this, but if you're wanting to do something a little bit more, then that is something that you could perhaps try and do. And then the last section is all about community, so things you can be doing in your community to express random acts of kindness. So the first thing that you could do would be to offer to send somebody a takeaway or a meal. Obviously at the moment it's probably not a good idea to send them a meal cooked by you because of like cross-contamination stuff, but there's plenty of takeaways open who are kind of following safe practice. And yeah, if you know someone in your community who is perhaps struggling a little bit, why not offer to send them a takeaway and just brighten their day a bit and take the load off a bit. And also in doing that, you're supporting a local business at the same time. Another thing that you can do to support local businesses is to buy a gift voucher from them. I know quite a lot of local businesses around here are doing this because at the moment they can't be open, so they're obviously not getting any money in, but they are selling gift vouchers that can be used at a later date. So a lot of people are buying gift vouchers, especially if it's a business that you already use. They're buying gift vouchers now so that that business has a little bit of money coming in, and then those vouchers can be used later when things start to reopen. Something I think that we all should be doing at the moment, and it's another way to express kindness, is to make sure you're checking on your neighbours, especially if you have perhaps elderly or more vulnerable neighbours. Pop a note through their door, give them a ring or a text, and just make sure that they're doing okay. Check to see if they need any help, whether they need shopping doing or anything like that. I just think if everybody was checking on their neighbours, then we'd pretty much be covering the whole country and making sure that nobody was, you know, going without or struggling any more than they need to. So if you're in a position to be able to give something physical away at the moment, a couple of different things that you could do. So the first is to donate something to a food bank. I know that food banks have seen a massive increase in people needing them at the moment, and certainly the ones around us are always asking for donations. So have a look at your local food banks because they'll often tell you what they're short of at the moment, and yeah, see if you can donate to them. They usually have drop-off points, some are doing collections, so it's definitely worth doing and it will be helping people who really need it. And then something else that you could do is to donate to a local charity or a bigger charity, whatever kind of touches your heart. I mean, there's plenty of worthy causes around at the moment, whether that's NHS related charities or local charities that are trying to help people that are vulnerable. So again, look around, ask people for recommendations, and if you want to sort of give something physical to somebody, have a look at local charities and see what they need. Another kind thing that you could do at the moment is to volunteer with your local community COVID response. I don't know how widespread this is, but certainly where I am, pretty much as soon as the lockdown happened, our local community took it upon itself to set up a bit of a response team, really, basically to help anybody that is having to isolate or who is vulnerable and isn't able to leave the house. It was pretty much, yeah, put together by everybody that lives in the community, so it's spread across all the different roads, and it's now become like this big hub. So basically if somebody is struggling, they can ring or they can post on this Facebook group, and there's plenty of volunteers who can do things like shopping, collecting medication, walking dogs. They can phone somebody who might be on their own. So there's plenty of different ways to help, and even if you're not able to leave the house, you could, as I said, you could phone somebody who might be on their own and who just needs somebody to talk to. So it's worth looking into if you're looking for random acts of kindness to do at the moment, because I think any of those things would be really appreciated, and you will also be able to feel like you're doing something. Because I know for me, I've been home, well, I'm stuck at home most of the time, and I felt quite helpless, but helping with that kind of thing just makes me feel like I'm able to do my bit and to help other people. Another really important thing at the moment that people are doing that is incredibly kind is sewing things like scrubs, face masks, the little things that go behind so that they don't like rub their ears, anything like that. They're just massively needed at the moment, and I know there's so many different appeals from different hospitals and care agencies and things like that. So if you're good at sewing and that kind of stuff, have a look into it and see who you could make stuff for. If you can't sew, perhaps give it a go, or if you can't do that, have a look in your airing cupboard and see if you've got any old sheets or pillowcases or anything like that, and then you can donate those. So there's lots of different ways to help, and those things will definitely be going to good use. Another quite fun thing that you can do just to spread a bit of kindness at the moment is to put a rainbow in your window. We've done a couple now. I used some paint sticks to draw a rainbow to go in our window. My sister used colouring pens, but I know children are doing it and are doing all sorts of different things. People are doing like chalk on the pavements. Some people are doing like gluing and sticking. There's so many amazing rainbows, and it's something that just brightens people's days. I know when people walk past our house, you can see them like pointing and smiling, and it's just that little bit of like hope, isn't it? And hope and smiles that it brings that just will kind of lift people and really help their mental health. And I don't know, it might seem like a really silly thing to do to help somebody's mental health, but it's all these little like acts of kindness that come together that just, yeah, help the kind of general mental health of the whole nation. And then the last thing that I've got on my list for community is that you could send a postcard or a card to a local retirement home. I know that a few retirement places near me are doing this because obviously the people that are living in them aren't getting any visitors at all. A lot of them may not understand if they've got things like dementia. They might be finding it quite difficult, and also the carers, a lot of them are having to live in as well, so a lot of them are asking for people to send things like postcards and cards and pictures to the homes just to brighten the walls, to make the residents and the carers smile. So again, have a look into something like that, see if there's something in your local area, and yeah, just know that by sending a simple card or a picture, it could really brighten someone's day and just lift their mood a little bit. And then the last thing that I think I just need to add is that all these things about kindness are fantastic, and you know, you're spreading kindness across the world and making it a better place, but it is also really, really important to just be kind to yourself and make sure, yeah, you're looking after your own mental health as well. I kind of flip between trying to be helping others and to do lots of different things to help others, to suddenly realising that I'm letting my own mental health slip and that I'm actually struggling more than I thought. So it's trying to find a balance and, you know, listening to your body and to how you're feeling. And if you're struggling and finding it difficult, then that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it, but do also make sure that you are reaching out for help if you need it. There are so many different helplines open at the moment, and I just think it's really important that if you've got mental health problems already, or even if you haven't and you're starting to feel like, you know, you're getting depressed or anxious or just finding things a bit of a struggle, to reach out for those helplines and to talk to somebody, because I think talking is just going to be the most important thing, and yeah, it's just going to help us get through. So don't be afraid to reach out for help. I will include lots of different links down below of different helplines that you could contact. There's also your GP. You can do like a virtual consultation and tell them that you need help with your mental health. Just don't suffer in silence. Make sure that you are getting the support that you need, because mental health is as important as our physical health, and we're doing all these different things to try and fight the virus, but we also need to be putting our mental health first. So be kind to yourself, reach out for help if you need it, and just cut yourself a bit of slack, because this is an unusual time and nobody is coping perfectly. So yeah, just do what you can to get through. So I really hope that some of those ideas are helpful and that you might be able to find something in there that you can do. If you have enjoyed this video about mental health and you'd like to see more, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the notification bell, that means you'll get notified every time I upload a video so that you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, let me know if you've been doing any random acts of kindness, or if you've had some sort of kindness shown to you. Let me know what that was and how it made you feel. And also leave a comment and talk about mental health more generally. How are you coping with your mental health? Have you got any tips on sort of managing mental health at the moment? Have you needed to reach out for help? I'd love to hear some of your comments and to hear how you're doing, so do let me know. And also let me know if there's any other videos you'd like to see, whether there's videos related specifically to mental health or to physical health or to anything else. Let me know, because it's always helpful to know what you guys would like to see. Also give me a follow on social media. My links are in the description bar, but I'll also pop them up here. I'm mainly on Instagram and Twitter, so it would be really lovely to see you over there for a chat. And again, it's a good way to support each other and yeah, make each other feel a little bit better during this time. And yeah, I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye.